shushing me?
Can you not always watch things like this every single time you're hanging
But
out?
it's so cute!
Haven't been watching that for the past 3 weeks.
But it's so cute though.
Okay.
You not find it cute?
Okay, my main question to you is, are you staying locked in or not?
Ooh.
I've posted over 20 stories for the past 3 weeks, and although it wasn't every day, it was at least 70% of the days, so it's at least enough to get me an A grade. I think the social experiment has definitely made me a bit more mindful about what I post online and what I allow people to see, even if it's just my followers, because my account is private. Like, I've messed around with the settings a bit, and I've posted some stories on my close friends list also, where I can regulate the people who can see. But I would say that one extroverted thing that it made me do more was to talk to my friends more, because more people would message me on Instagram than on WhatsApp, and I realized that most people message each other on Instagram because it's more convenient. Like, after sharing a reel, you just continue the conversation there and it flows quite naturally. I think this experiment reinforced my belief that social media really is very addictive, because I have found myself at 1 or 2 a.m. telling myself just a few more reels, and then before I know it's 3 a.m. and oh, where did the time go? It is definitely a little bit unnerving at how quickly it picks up on who I am as a person and what are my likes or my dislikes and what is the content that I like to consume. Yeah, it's definitely a bit scary and alarming at how quickly it can just pick up on your small little actions, oh, you like this reel, or oh, you watch this reel to the end, or you skip this reel very quickly. Now I really get what people mean by the saying that your views or your feed is a very accurate reflection of you as a person. It's not that bad of cyberbullying. It's a very tongue-in-cheek cyberbullying. Wait, let me go find the cyberbullies. So when I posted an Instagram story about my new haircut, one of the trusted adults around me told me that they can't wait to see it when I'm back with a laughing emoji. And I felt really appreciated and hurt at the same time that my haircut was able to spread so much joy for others and not for myself. Yeah, I must say that after my experience on social media for the past 3 weeks, something that has been popping up in my mind quite a fair bit is on social media we are really bombarded by a lot of different subliminal messaging. For example, me personally, when I'm on the fitness side of social media apps, I would start to think that, oh, everyone in the world is so fit and so strong, and all the progress that I've made is amounts to nothing. I'm just a beginner, or I'm not that strong. So I'm interested to ask someone who has much deeper knowledge in this field what he thinks about this, and how social media kind of aggravates these problems that we might face. Park sees the doctor. Let's go!
Oh my gosh, hi! Nice to meet you! You must be Dr Heng. It's
right.
such a pleasure to meet you. I'm Park the dinosaur.
Hello, Puck the dinosaur. What sort of dinosaur are you?
Me, I'm a Parkosaurus.
Awesome.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Heng. So, I've been roped into this challenge of posting about my daily life on Instagram for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, so and how do you find this experience exploring into social media?
I think it has been quite a insightful experience. Now that I've downloaded Instagram for myself, I think I really see what all the hype is all about, and I get the appeal of not only seeing other people's lives and keeping up with them, but also posting what you're doing online to share with everyone else, and in a sense strengthen that connection you have with them. I kind of realized that on social media we kind of present this very perfect and idealized versions of our lives, and it made me a bit curious on what effect this would have on youth or anyone consuming this content. Would this change the way they perceive themselves?
Well, it can. So, because I think as humans, innately, we are prone to make comparisons with other people, and of course, if we see other people, enjoying life a whole lot more, that might make us feel worse about ourselves. But I think it's also important to remember that, what we see on social media may not be reality, but it's a highly curated kind of things that other people want you to see. So I think if you're not careful, you might feel that, oh, we're missing out, there's FOMO, and then we feel like, okay, our life is not as good as other people. But I'll say, everyone has their fair share of, good times and bad times as well. But how many people would post about their bad times openly? So that's something that we don't see, and we probably won't know just by going on social media alone.
And what are some ways you think that people can take to kind of counteract this influence?
So I'm sure everyone would be exposed to it in some form or other because we're all prone to comparison. And I think that especially at a very vulnerable age where they're starting to be more self-conscious about their body and their appearance, that's where it can have a very big impact. That's why it's helpful to have a balance in the real world where things are unfiltered and looking at real people and real bodies to maybe kind of ground us back in reality.
Do you have any advice on how youth can balance these two more as they become increasingly on our phones and online?
Yeah, so I mean a good gauge is for social media and gaming and digital devices, if you can limit that to about 2 hours per day, I'll say that's still fairly healthy. Beyond that, it can be a little bit excessive. Because even though there's some sort of socialization that happens online, it's quite different from what happens in real life. For example, now we're seeing each other face to face, we can read each other's facial expressions. Across the screen, it might be very hard to do that. I mean, they may put a smiley emoji, but they may be raging inside, so sometimes it's hard to know what they're feeling. So yes, while online has its certain benefits, eventually most people will have to go out to work and they have to interact either with clients or employees or bosses, and having that kind of real life socialization experience and ability is going to be quite critical in their life stage.
How do you think social media platforms or society can put in place guardrails that can more adequately help out those that are being cyberbullied online?
So yes, I think definitely the social media companies have a responsibility to ensure that users use the product in a way that is helpful and constructive and not damaging. So I mean, for minimally, users should be able to block people who are being abusive. So there are actually some support in Singapore for that. So there's the Protection of Harassment Act. So if let's say there's this ongoing persistent abuse or harassment, a police report can be made. And this can involve the legal system. There's also some services that cater to people who are abused online. So there are some service centers that have been set up. But I think if let's say if the abuse is getting to an intolerable level and it's affecting the person's mental and social health, then they should try and disengage from social media for a time. And also I think speak to someone about it. So rather than have all that shame in private, having someone to support you emotionally can be quite helpful as well.
I feel refreshed, in the way that you feel after a nice, good conversation. And yeah, I had a lot of takeaways and new perspectives that I gleaned from what he shared just now. I learned that I should try to emulate and strive towards 2 hours or less of screen time. On a more serious note, I also learned that it's very important to always maintain that balance of grounding ourselves and finding balance between what is our real experiences and what we experience online. I think I find myself in a position where I'm more comfortable. My friends' reactions or comments to what I've been posting online have been very encouraging to me. It kind of gave me more motivation or enthusiasm to approach life. I would say that filming this series of Locked In and knowing that it's going to go out to a way more public audience, that has been more unnerving to me, because I cannot control who's ultimately watching or perceiving me. While I wouldn't say that my concerns have been elevated as the filming of the series progressed, I would say that I have picked up some stuff that has helped me come to terms with it a lot better. I remember my meeting with the smiling afro. It really taught me that you should just choose to be who you are. and portray your true self online. So you have nothing to be ashamed of, you have nothing to be worried about, because that's just who you are. If people do not like you or people disagree with you, it's okay, because that's just who you are. It's not like you're putting up a facade. Yeah, so that has definitely helped me like gain more perspective on online visibility. I'm gonna stay logged in.